let me put it this way. The fact that it's not actually easy to transfer all the referral team, okay, pie bonuses or reward, okay, is linked to the fact that when you look at all the, how will we position this? All the ramifications, right, with the referral team, right, is not an easy task to computerize. That's why that piece, it will take time. It will come later. So don't start wondering and start like whining or, blaming the system that, is fraudulent or is not a transparent process because you don't see all your referral team by transfer to you. Because again, I will insist on it, that part will come later in the process. The day and time, nobody knows because the team will still actually adjusting everything so that we can have all those elements then transfer. So just to summarize about the migration here, there is no rush. You have just to take in account that all the formula, all the transparency is within your app that you can see. And people have been asking, so with all this going on, are we going to be allowed to mine? Yes, the mining session will continue. Remember the number of Pi supply out there. If we are only maybe 35 plus million people, and there are more than 7 billion people in the world, which maybe 90% or even maybe 99% are everyday people that we're looking for to understand and tap into this digital currency industry, then we are still far, far away of even getting close to utilize all the supply that is available. So yes, it's not going to stop because migration, all the migration KYC happen. No, the mining will continue. And while you're mining, your pies will be also, migrated automatically. So right now, it's because we're still, adjusting everything. We just need to work through the first migration and the other one that will follow. So coming back now to you, I just wanted to take time to really explain all those elements for the audience to know exactly where to go look for, information that are needed, for this process. So Thierry, when you were actually sharing that, you can see that the migration is going. Have you already passed, since you passed that, did you already pass the 12 days or are you still in the waiting mode? And what about you, Sieta? When you did the migration, do you remember maybe how many days they gave you? I think Thierry is here. Okay. And I'll come back to you.
I'm still in the process.
Okay.
So there is 2 days left.
2 days? Okay. So
Yeah.
hopefully then by next live, you'll tell us more about that
Yeah.
piece.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
curious. I'm curious. I want to see. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Okay, you watching us, even myself here, right? I didn't pass the KYC. Thierry, Sieta are within my, circle of trust, and I'm actually leveraging on their experience right now to actually bring you the information too. So I didn't pass the KYC. So please don't get into the panic mode. So I'm excited every time to see actually before even I get into it what's happening. So Thierry, for that, okay, hopefully 2 days. I think by next live you will be actually you will have passed already that and will have more information on the migration from you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Sieta, have you noticed the number of days? I mean, since you started the migration, and are you already did you already pass that?
No, I don't remember how many days that mine was going to be, but looks like it's still in the process. I did
Okay.
see all of the unverified balance, all of those things have numbers in there. I may have numbers in there right now, but I don't see where these days. I think I started after Thierry.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still waiting as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anyway, okay, we do know that it take is required to all of us to give it 14 days, before we do anything. Before we do anything, that's fine. Those are not to ask them to come though. Those are your kid, with you. I wanted to bring this question somebody asked, and Thierry, if you have any tips, you can jump in. Okay.
Okay.
So how are you helping your circle? Because people are complaining that they have struggle. Okay, they have struggled to get even their circle of trust. Okay, to go mine, take the thing seriously. And I know Siata shared last time how she got her own children involved because there will be a KYC with parental control, right? Parental, your guardian, whatever. Okay, so for you, Siata, so how what are the tips that you can share with somebody in your shoes who's trying to get their children involved and they're just like not at all into it? And how are you helping, to you, Thierry, or both of you can answer, okay? How are you helping your circle of trust to actually get very active with this?
Um, the 24 hours mining piece. I think we talked about it a couple of
Mhm.
the first session,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you get the reminder every 24 hours. Sometimes you're doing something else and you forget. So turn the mining on. I utilize the ping inactive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's a button in the app that if your people in your circle of your circle of trust, if they're not mining, you can actually ping them to mine. The system will send another
Mm-hmm.
reminder. So I utilize
Mm-hmm.
those for the people that are not near me, but my kids, of course, being in the same house, I just tell them to turn the mining on. So I mean,
Yes.
they're right here. But for those that are not here, that's one way to do it, or you can text. But if they forget, the ping inactive option in the app will send them a reminder as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
utilize that. Mhm.
Yeah, that's a wonderful tool, to remind our audience. And if you're new in this process or joining this live or watching this video, to remember that there is a tool that actually help you to send a reminder to your circle of trust. I was laughing when you say, being under the same house. I tell them to do it. I was laughing because I'm like, yeah. Otherwise they're not going to get their stipend or they're not going to get I mean, it's your children, basically, right? So, as a parent, if your kids are not really involved and you feel like, no, this will help them in the future and all that, I mean, take it the same way as you educating them or you requiring them to do their homework and all that because they're not going to see today because there are some adults who are not seeing but tomorrow they will actually be very grateful. So Thierry, do you have a way to actually keep your circle of trust to stay active?
No, I don't have.
No. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine because again, it's not like a full-time work where that's the flexibility I like in this process, right? Depending on your level of your choice for the level of contribution, you do what is actually what make you feel comfortable,
Yeah.
right? Like there are some people that don't want to get into the knot. There are some people I have actually on the team. I will say that I'm the least technical person, but I leverage on the team. I'm a knot, but on my team there are people who actually they even though they're technical than I, they're not even actually running a node or and all that. So
Mhm.
I think giving people the flexibility to be who they want to be or to be at the level where they want to be is actually a great thing in this project. So thank you for sharing that. And I will add this for me personally. I actually that's why I want to have in my circle people I only know. That's the first thing. I made some mistake where I let people just join through like the YouTube channel and they never, but I insisted, even though I insisted, even if you join without knowing me, introduce yourself because I need to have your contact to be able to, have communication. So right now, what I do in addition, after I click on the pinning process or something, right, to send a reminder, I do send actually personal messages to people. I don't care until you tell me that I'm too much on you, right? Then I will stop. And I find out that it's actually helping people in my circle because people kept telling me, "Oh man, if you were not sending this to me because the notification even in the app I don't even follow." So if you're out there, you think that is something you can do for your circle, but make sure that you ask them the permission because some people don't just like it, which is fine because nobody's forced here. That's the extra thing I do with my circle. So when people see my number of pi is a diligent work that is being done to be able to reach that. And whatever your choice is, you just need to also, also do that. So I think the migration element we cover, enough of the validation and the migration element. We explained a little bit last time already, if I can recall. We explained how the dashboard looked like. I don't know if because remember we're running English and French channel, so I don't know if it was on the other channel or here, Sieta. I think we already explained how the dashboard for the validation look like, right?
I don't think it was on the one we did. It must have been on your other channel.
Okay, so do
Cover
you
your
mind?
French channel.
Yes, yes. Thierry, go ahead.
No, I want to say I'm not remember we
Thank
covered.
you. Okay, that's what teamwork is about, right? So if it was just by myself, I would screw it up. I was like, oh, I talked about this already. Now here I am confused with the other channel. So, Siata, if you don't mind, do you want to share a little bit with us when you go for validation? I heard you mention that you just check and all that, right? Do you want to walk us through that and how does your dashboard look like? What are the information and all that?
Okay, so to do the once you're approved for the validation and all that, you have access to what is called you have to go to the pod browser, which
Mhm.
is a separate place from where you mine. So the pod browser, you get to the pod browser and would take you, then you will hit the where it says KYC Pi. That would take you mostly into the dashboard for where you pick up the validations. So usually when you get to the page, the colors are consistent within the two browsers, of course. So you will see where it says your pending validations, how many validations you've done, how many were successful, how many you've done total, and your accuracy percentage on those. So once you look that's the main dashboard there. There's a button at the bottom that says it's like a real simple. It just says let's go. It's just you press that button, the system then asks you like a question to confirm that you're not going to share people information with anyone or copy or screenshot anything, just a step there, of course, as it relates to privacy, just going to make sure you're being aware of that. Once you confirm that, the job it takes you to the dashboard and the system now tries to search. It pings our search to start to look for validations that are available in the system. So if there's available validations, the system dumps those on your dashboard and you just start take it one by one. As you go through it, you answer your question, it goes to the next, it goes to the next. It's kind of how it works.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
very, like I say, it's a very user friendly process. Um, and anybody can do it, actually.
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you for sharing that. I think, yeah, indeed, I think I saw the screenshot also from one of the circle of one of the members. Okay, in the circle of trust, and I think you're right. You know what is pending, what is in waiting list in the queue. Okay,
Mhm.
you know how many once you're going through them, you know how many you did successfully, and then the total that actually you actually went through, and then the formula even to calculate the what did you how did you call it, what's the rate, what's that percentage again,
Which one?
performance, there is a rate you give a name to it,
It's
what?
called one whole second. It's called the
Sure.
accuracy percentage.
Accuracy percentage. Okay, so to get that, the formula was already public. Okay, is the number of successful, I think. Okay, don't get me wrong, please. If you're watching this, you can go check it out if you choose to be a validator. Okay, I know is the successful validation divided by or maybe the successful validation minus the unsuccessful validation divided
No,
by the number
you
of
were
validate.
you were right the first time. It's the successful validation divided by the successful validation plus the unsuccessful times 100.
Mhm.
Yeah,
100. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So the formula is clear there, for everybody, and I think one thing I love also in what developers are doing is being more and more transparent on the formulas that I use so that nobody sit there thinking that somebody is actually unjustly, you know, yeah, playing an unfair game, right? Is all algorithmic, and then we all follow then the same formula. So I think we're getting close, okay? And I can't thank you guys enough. It's a Sunday, and you took your time to come actually share this time with our audience, and I can't thank you enough, okay? One thing I would like to mention at the migration, which I think people also are missing for the migration, when you're doing the migration, either is a migration or whatever, there's a contract actually basically you, I will say you sign, okay? Because there is a whole documentation that will actually require you that Pi Shen, I mean the organization that is responsible of this that have initiate, okay, this project, right? They're not accountable for your country, okay, laws. They're not accountable. So it become each one of the pioneers, okay, responsibility to know what are the laws in their country in regard to this. Let's say that you start doing the transaction, Siata over there, who's really into fashion and design, she decides to sell maybe some of her articles or product, right, in Pi. She needs to check with her state because she lives in North Carolina, for example, right, or she lives in Texas, or she lives in Canada, right? She needs to know what are the laws in terms of selling those stuff, because if there are any tax related, is her responsibility, not the Pi team or not the Pi organization. I've forgotten the legal name now. Okay, not their responsibilities. If Thierry over there, who is also in a different state, decided to do some transaction and need to collect taxes or whatever, right? It will become Thierry responsibility to look at that. So please, before we leave, before we get the last word from our guests, just remember, when you're going through those paperwork, take time to read very well. Don't just be money hungry, or don't just be crypto money hungry and then just like crossing everything and later on come back and start whining. Read very well because there are responsibilities to take in this process. So, as we end usually, again, if you came across this video or you've been watching us live, right? We started this journey with one single proverb, reminding us when we don't know where we're going, to look back where we came from. In our humanity, all the principles are in there, and around us, all the principles that we just apply, even in building businesses. In our Kobia business model, that's all what we follow, and we call it Kobia for a reason. And while we're going through this journey, we will be sharing this model that we use with our client, with you. If you have a business, if you're looking to build a sustainable business, we'll be sharing that also down the road. So, as a word of wisdom, you guys or you both having an advanced level in this process than myself sitting here. If there is a word, a closing word, I call them word of wisdom to other people because you went through the experience, what will it be?
For me, it's not. It's just nothing that I'm paying for. I don't see
Mhm.
how. I don't see how it can hurt me. So like we said at the last meeting, there's really nothing to lose. It
Mhm.
was something that I was invited to, and I saw something that was of value, and I just made a decision to be a part of it, and has been a part of it ever since. So, like everything else, just there's nothing to lose, and it's certainly not a scam. That I can definitely say is not a scam. I know everything. The first thing we think when things are too good to be true, we think it's a scam. But just do your due diligence is what I would say to you. Just do your due diligence.
Due diligence. Thank you very much, because life is all about doing your due diligence, right? From looking money, building relationship, working professionally, even spiritually, right? You don't just join a church because, or you don't join a mosque, or, you don't, I don't know how, is it mosque? No, I need to find that word. Anyway, you don't just join
Mosque.
a community. Mosque. Okay, thank you. So you don't just join a community because you do always your due diligence. Okay, and I think I love those two words. Thank you for bringing that wisdom again to our audience. So Thierry, anything you want to also maybe shout out to people out there to know?
Yeah, I want to add one word: patience.
Patient. Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
Patience.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Because you see, when I'm observing, the years of experience in general, professionally, personally, I feel like human being is the worst when it comes to being patient. Like human being, you know,
Yeah.
is the worst in all beings. I don't know how the other beings communicate, but it's unbelievable.
Mhm.
Patience. And somebody said in one song, I think the person is the singer is from Ivory Coast in West Africa. You know, he says something about patience, which is very, very powerful. To also be, sharing. All these are proverbs, right? They've been here before us. They will be here even after us. Patience is the right path to sustainable success, because anything you do rushing definitely will lead you to the wrong result. And I like it so much because it brings back our definition of growth. It brings us back to what we've been saying. Any development, any growth is a natural process. It doesn't matter how fast you want things to happen, it's not going to happen. And that's one thing that actually personally make me stick to this project, because it could have been something that they will try to do in 2 days, in 3 days, or but no, we've been on this journey for almost 3 years, since March 2019. I joined, I think, early or late 20 or 21, early 21 or late 20. So it will take time. I just love that from the project. And if you're not into this, you're not patient enough to expect this even the next 10 years. I see people telling me, what do you mean a whole decade? Yes, because it may not even be for us right now, our generation to use, but the next generation is not random. That even children, we're still working to be able to allow even our children to be part of this. So patient. Thank you very much. Due diligent, patient are two things that I'm taking away. And I hope you watching, you also find value into those two words of wisdom. So remember, when you don't know where you're going, just look back from where you came from, because everything is, scribed within our gene that way. And I will see you then, or we'll see you then in the next live. Any question, feel free to put them then under the video.
Thank you.
Okay, right. Thierry, we good? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the day and then a wonderful weekend.
You too.